Hello, this is Andrew with Bike, and this is the Giant Revolt 2 project bike. This is the second installment in the series. Hopefully you've seen the first one when I first got it. This is the bike as it will probably be. It's as done as it's going to be for now anyway. I'd intended to do this update after Rough Road 100, but that got postponed because of all the stuff that's going on. So I figured it's no time like the present to get out in the woods and do an update. So let's start the saddle here. Obviously this is not the Giant saddle. This is a S-Works Toupe carbon saddle. I really like the Toupe. On my road bike I wasn't able to get the kind that I use. It's the older one, the full carbon with just a very minimal pad, but this one is the what replaced it. It's still a very nice saddle. It's actually probably better for this bike because there's a little bit more padding on it, and gravel bike, gravel road, single track, that kind of thing, a little bit more padding goes a long way. Also a little bit more padding, and the reason why I got the carbon here is because even with the carbon seat post that I borrowed from the Defy, this bike is very, very stiff. I'm 71 kilos, so that might influence that a little bit, but it's very, very stiff. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing. So more compliance is a good thing. I replaced the stem with a 130 FSA aluminum stem. That's something I had laying in the parts bin. I like that kind of reach on the bike. And I went with a 40 centimeter handlebar, road handlebar. I was thinking about getting a flare, but I haven't really needed it. And I ride a 38 on my road bike, and anything more than I think 40 probably would have been too wide, uncomfortably wide, and I like that I can still get aero on the thing if I need to. And I haven't really felt the need for a flare drop, so it might happen, but probably not. The biggest thing is the wheels. I mean, aside from the drivetrain, but we talked about that in the first installment. These are Far Sports 30 millimeter gravel wheels. They are absolutely brilliant. I'm going to do a full review on them when I can, and I love them. And that's the thing, that's the biggest thing about this bike, is its character changes so much depending on what wheels and what tires you put on it. Obviously, you're not going to make this into an aero road bike. The trail on here, which is how far forward the front wheel is, there's just things that are never going to be aero here, because this distance there is the opposite of what you want for an aero bike, and this distance here and the flare of that is the opposite of what you want for an aero bike. But these things that you give up so that you can fit a wider tire on it. See, there's oodles of space in here. This is a 37C, but I've run 40s and a 38. And, might as well get a shot of the front while we're at it. You can see here there's tons of space there as well. And it's brilliant. It handles everything, whether it's snow or ice, with the right tires, or single track full of mud, or stuff like this, which is the hard pack mud / gravel. It's pretty dry today, so this is just kind of skips over the top of it. But that's a lot of that's just in the wheels and the tires that you choose. I've ridden this on the road a lot with a different set of wheels and road tires, and I have no trouble keeping up with people on road bikes. So if you can only have one bike, it would not be a hardship to have this be that bike. It can really do almost anything, and you just have to equip it with the right wheel tire combo for what you want to do on the day that you're going out. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, stuff that I haven't talked about, and you're curious about the bike, just drop that below and I will get to that as soon as I can. Cheers.